Thank you all for joining us. My name is Mary Ann Clerkin. I'm the marketing manager at Threshold Security. And today we're going to be talking about the power of color in visitor management. So it plays a very crucial role in enhancing security, efficiency, and the overall visitor experience. And I have two exciting panelists here to join us, and they will be doing most of the talking. But before they introduce themselves, I just wanted to give you a quick little housekeeping tips. We will have this webinar sent to you afterwards via email. So if you are looking for any of the content or contact information, this will all come to you in the next day or so. And then there will be a question and answer session at the very end. So you can use the question button or the chat button, and I can monitor that and make sure we address those questions. We'll try to get to all of them. If we don't get to all of them, we will reach out to you separately, but we should be able to get to everything. So with that, I want to get started. So let's start. Noel, would you like to start with a brief introduction?
Sure. Thank you, Mary Ann, and thank you everybody for attending today. My name is Noel Turner. For those of you who don't know me, I am the Director of Sales and Marketing at Threshold. Threshold, I think most folks probably attending today know us because we offer visitor badges with expiring technology. And we'll touch upon how that technology works and the benefits of it during this broadcast. But we, I think it probably was about 5 months ago that Michael reached out to me in regards to, hey, I see you guys have your eVisitor, which is our lightweight software package. We mix it with a package with badges as well as the Epson printer. And so he reached out to me about, this printer and why Epson. And we had a great conversation about visitor management and the space around visitor management and how Epson plays a role in that space by providing color. Because one of the things that we are asked about all the time in Threshold, especially I'd say in this past year, is how color can improve, enhance, really work for visitor management. So I'm excited today about this. It's going to be kind of a casual conversation between Michael and I, and I am looking, we're kind of both said, hey, let's do this and maybe even other things down the road. But anyway, this is a start to talk about how color can improve security in the visitor management space. I'll turn it over to you, Michael.
Not a problem. Thanks. Hi, everyone. Thanks for attending today. My name is Michael Weitz. I'm a product manager at Epson, specifically working on the ColorWorks line. And one of the cool things that I get to work on is solutions within the ColorWorks area. And that's one of the reasons why, like Noel said, why I picked up the phone and wanted to call her, because there's some unique integrations that Threshold does, not only from software, but also from some badges from there. So the neat thing is that we're looking at expanding and growing our category of solutions, and visitor management is one of those vertical markets that we think is really great for you to to implement not only Epson products, but also Threshold's complete solution as it requires into your visitor management and security solutions that you end up having. So we're excited about this opportunity. We talked, like Noel said, 5 months ago was our first interaction, and this is going to be the first of many resources that we're going to start providing to you jointly as we look at this category of visitor management as this vertical market continues to expand. So color is huge, and having a great partner in Threshold is going to be even better.
Yeah, and we love the partnership with Epson, because them being a printer and us having the media, we can improve and perfect our product, and just work alongside with Epson, to both understand this kind of space better. So it's been a great ride so far. So thank you, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you both for those great introductions. Noel, let's start with you. Do you just want to talk a little bit about how valuable color is in a visitor management system?
Yeah, so this screen, I'm going to give you kind of a high level of why full color, the benefits, and then the next slide, I'm going to kind of give you some different examples of what we see in the actual market. Right off the bat, and you can tell this from a distance, but you do have such a beautiful, clear ID, a clear identification, a clear badge. The clarity is great. It's crisp and clean. It's just beautiful. Obviously, color coding, I'm going to talk about this on the next slide, but when you can print in color, you add color coding and you can use it for many different reasons. And many of those reasons are, we get asked about them. Can we do days of week? Can we do differentiate between visitors, vendors? And we'll give you some examples of that. And if you can go back to the last slide, Meg. It also, from a distance, the visibility, I want to touch on that. If you think about a security team, and trying to read a badge from a distance, I think the color, obviously the color inkjet is giving you the best identification product that you can see from a distance. And then adding that professional brand, adding like the image and promoting branding is a big deal. On the next slide, so we get asked, this is a great slide because it has so many different examples of how you can use color. The first is to promote the branding, like I said. Some people will ask us to pre-print badges with a logo on it. And the beautiful thing about the color inkjet is you simply could just go ahead and print your logo. And as we all know, direct thermal printers are black and white, so you sort of have a black and white logo. This will allow you to really emphasize and have your logo pop. So it's a great way to promote your branding. As I mentioned, if you have people in and out, and at a glance you want to tell a difference between a visitor, a vendor, or a contractor, you're able to kind of create the template and through the color really differentiate each different type of visitor into your facility. Another way of color coding is the different departments within potentially a hospital or on a campus if there's multiple buildings, a warehouse, or different types of buildings depending on what you have on your campus. You can use color for that for each building. And then departments, of course, whether it's maternity, emergency, or floors, floor 1, floor 2. I've seen a variety of different ways to use the color there. And then we do get asked a lot about color to differentiate days of the week. And the nice thing about printing in color is, you could choose a Sunday where instead of taking the Sunday roll out of the printer and having to put in Monday's roll that's green, you could just have it print out in the different colors depending on the day. So lots of different ways to utilize color here. And again, these are very much different ways we get asked by clients in the marketplace.
That's great. Michael, do you want to talk a little bit about how the color printing enhances the appearance and effectiveness?
Yeah, and one thing that's quite unique about Epson's ColorWorks printers is our print technology. So we make our own print heads with precision core. Most people don't realize precision core is across multiple products inside of the Epson portfolio. So no matter if we're talking about the ColorWorks line of products, we have a whole line of business inkjet and consumer inkjet products. We even have things that are direct print onto products. It could be like mugs and shirts and things of that nature, from there onwards up to like big fabric environments as well. The same technology is across the whole board. There's probably more print heads depending on the printer from there, but the good thing is that it's our inkjet proprietary technology. The other thing is that it is a quick dry, so versus the old traditional idea of inkjet technology that people remember from, let's say, 30, 40 years ago, where it's like, oh, it comes out and it's got all this stuff. It's, it dries, right? It's instant dry as it comes out of the printer from there. There's no worry about like smudging or smearing anything from there. Easily someone could get this badge printed in full color that they want to, and then apply it onto their shirt, if you will, and be able to enter into the building facility from there. The other keys are, being able to get that, that Noel was talking about. This is one thing that we pride ourselves on, and making a really great resolution on the print itself. So no matter if we're just kind of highlighting, days of week, emergencies, the floors that they're getting to, but if someone is creating a unique visitor management solution and they have that piece of photography, we're talking about photorealistic printing on a label. So I know we make photo printers and we do a really good job of that. ColorWorks is not necessarily a photo printer out of the box, but being able to see this crisp, clean piece of photography, which is huge. So there's tons of benefits of moving to this. And the best part about it is now I don't have to change out the media because it's printing on demand now. So I can change out days of week or who the person is and not have to worry about anything. It's one printer that can satisfy all my needs, which is amazing.
Yeah.
The print on demand is really an exceptional feature here. Gives you so many options on what to put on that badge, and then and what it means to your staff. So that's great. Can we just go and talk a little bit about the black and white versus color?
Yeah, and this is one thing, because like we kind of joked about this. Epson does a lot of thermal work as well. You might have seen a lot of our thermal products when you go to your favorite restaurant, retail shop as well. We do a lot of receipt printing, and we do a lot of label creation for those types of markets, but we haven't created anything like in a visitor management solution from here. And we really think that when you're getting into a visitor management badge, there's a significant step to color, right? So when we take a look at the two different versions of this, we're looking at the individual here, the Shelby here. Kind of hard to see what's going on from there. There could be a blurry piece of photography there. We can't see her color of her hair, depending on how big the photo was. Could we see what her blouse shirt that she's wearing from that? So that's just on the photo, and then being able to see her complexion, right? To be able to see is she of the same complexion that she ends up having from there. The other pieces are now being able to color code. So Noel said this as well, like if we wanted to do the visitor management on the thermal side in certain colors, I'm either getting a bank of thermal printers, or I'm there changing each and every time when a new customer comes into my place of business to change out that. And that's the last thing I want to do. I want to make this simple and easy, and that's where being able to print on demand, if Shelby's a visitor, I can do that. And I can also add in other fun things, the branding in the top section that Noel spoke about, and the other things that we could potentially do if we wanted to. All of that text, now we can highlight with different colored colors with those fonts. So instead of it being traditionally black here, we could have the expiration date and time highlighted in red, like we've shown in previous photos, who they're visiting, what room they're going to. Those are all things that can be customized with the software. And that's one thing that Noel and I have talked about as well is, this black and white and taking this to the next level that we'll continue to talk about is all based on multiple things. A good printer, great media, and then of course your software as well. So software, and then some of the photography that you're taking.
Yeah, and I was going to comment that we hear, it's really, it's not necessarily the printer or the media, but the software has a lot to dictate, has a lot to do about dictating how good of quality that photo is going to be. But using the inkjet does enhance, it does improve it. It does make a difference.
Yep, significantly. I mean, it's really great to see everything on what's going on with Shelby for today. So the good thing is that, of course, if you're doing a day of, you have the ability of seeing like, oh, this is Shelby's photo. Like, is she wearing the same thing that's on her photo on the badge? so you can, validate that, someone's not trying to work the system, if you will. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, and we hear more and more about how important a photo is on a badge. Just to have a photo is such a good, smart practice. So, and it doesn't just have the gray silhouette of a head. Having an actual photo makes such a difference in the security world. So, having a photo that they can actually recognize is the key part of that, though.
Yeah, and I think best practice, you could use a driver's license reader that grabs a photo, which is quick and easy. Or you can, still use a scanner, but that only grabs the name, first name, last name, but it will ask you, you'll have to then take a photo. And I think best practice is usually wanting to take a photo for each visit, because not everybody looks like their driver's license photos.
I can tell you that.
And it just gets into a best practice of visitor sign-in.
Yeah.
And just the coloring, like Noel spoke about as well. So the quick visualization. This is to the security folks and for the other employees. If Shelby's walking by, I'll know exactly just by spending less than 2 seconds to know like she's a visitor, right? Or if she's a contractor, or what floor is designated from there. So, it's a huge advantage for that place of business to making it more transparent, not just for the folks that are 100% doing security, but for the rest of the organization, so they know who's who.
Right.
So
right. The color is just such a visual, it's and our brains all acknowledge color, that's great. Michael, did you want to show us a little video on how quickly the badges print, please?
Yes. So we worked together with the Threshold team, and we had just created something with the eVisitor software. So we had pre-done a photography and gotten that to work, and we wanted to show you the output coming out of a C4000 here, and you can see the output coming out. And there's that badge that we just had on the previous slide. And you'll notice we actually had Mary Ann kind of run her fingers across everything, so you can see that it instantly printed out, and you could see that there was nothing that was happening on there. So it's fairly fast. We're talking about up to 4 seconds or 4 inches a second from there on a print from that. And there's different quality settings that you could make it a little bit faster if you want to, a little bit slower if you wanted to from there to find the right fit for you. But to have that come out after they go through the onboarding process to becoming a visitor, to getting that output is very simple and easy to do. And in this case, since it's going to be the expiring media, because it's got that fold under, the eVisitor software or other software that is able to facilitate that, it just makes it really easy to kind of fold it over, hand it to the visitor, and apply that onto their shirt.
Yeah,
so
and the fact that it comes out and it's dry, it doesn't smudge, you instantly activate the badge and off they go. I also wanted to comment, it is about a 4-second print. It is very quick. So that's it, the timing is everything when, you have a line coming through your lobby and you really need to process your visitors quickly and efficiently. So it will not slow it down, even adding color to it, which is amazing. And then if you go back and think about the size of the printer, I did want to comment, direct thermal printers are smaller, and usually this is a really tight space to work with for visitor management. You usually in lobbies or at desks, they don't have a lot of space, but this Epson printer in particular isn't that big, for the product, for what you're getting, the output. It's amazing.
Yeah. So the sizing on the printer that Noel's, on the C4000 that Noel, we were talking about before, it's about a 2 foot by 2 foot, kind of section from there. So if you just go ahead and pause it right here, if we could on the video, it's a little bit larger than the traditional thermal printing from there, but to be able to have full color, on-demand printing from here. Most visitor management, like what we have in our lobby right now at Epson as well, we've been utilizing this version now for a little over a year. We had some previous generation of these products there, but there's enough room up there on that table to actually use this versus a thermal printer that that other folks have been using from there. There's also accessories that are available as well. So if we wanted it to cut, because there's an auto cutter that's available, so at the end of each one, we can have that cut. And then there's a catch that is an optional accessory that customers could decide if they want to. So instead of it just falling on the table or the floor, if you will, you could just catch everything from that. And as those visitors come in, that might come in a little handy if there's a lot coming into the lobby at one time.
Right. And all of the media is enclosed in the printer. There's no fan folding behind there, no stack of badges somewhere that have to be fed in on a table behind the printer. It's all enclosed. So it's really for the power of what it prints, it's a pretty small little unit.
Right.
If you're utilizing, for example, like Threshold's media, in this, the media is created so the rolls will fit inside of the unit. But on the other side, if someone wants to get, potentially work with Threshold, or have some media on a larger roll, that can be done in fan folding or just having it on an external wheel. You can do that. It'll take up a little bit more room, but there's always options if you want to go bigger. If you have a lot more customers coming in, we, Threshold and Epson, we can work on getting that right solution for you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that just how quickly you saw that badge come out, the next one can come out, and instead of saying visitor, it can say vendor or volunteer or where they're going. So the changing of the badges to suit the need of the specifics of that guest, it's just a different template. Just pick and drop and pick, and it prints it for you right away. So there's really fast on that sign in and taking your lobby from being a slow line to being pretty efficient.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Michael, you mentioned expiring a few times, and I know mentioned this at the beginning, but maybe we could just talk a little bit for everybody about what expiring badges are in case not everybody knows.
Sure. So Threshold, we offer a variety of badges. We offer, I'd say, regular visitor badges that don't expire. We also have, and what we're known for is our expiring visitor badge. So when you print off the badge, you activate it. This particular badge, and what we showed you in the demonstration, is a tab expiring badge where the tab gets folded under, and it will slowly and gradually turn a color. It starts to turn a color in about 4 to 6 hours, and then it will keep getting darker over time. So within 24 hours or within 1 day, it will completely void itself, so you can't reuse it the next day. It's another way where color adds so many different features about the badge. The voiding badge adds an extra layer of security, so people can't reuse the badge the next day. And we find that, for example, in hospitals, they might have one entrance, one choke-in point to have people sign in, but then when they're leaving, there's multiple doors to leave by. They don't have to chase somebody down to try to get a badge back. Somebody can leave, and they can't go back into the facility unless they go through that process again. So the voiding badge, the fact that you can't reuse it, discourages reuse, and it really ask each visitor on a day-to-day basis to always sign in. And that way the security team will know at any given time, who's really in their building, which is really a best practice. But the extra security is an option here of the expiring badge. We have badges for the inkjet printer that don't expire. So if you don't need it, fine. We have lots of other options to choose from, but this is a great way to add, like I said, that layer of security in any visitor sign-in process.
Great, thanks. So that about wraps up the questions I had. I don't know, Michael or Noel, if you want to add anything before we go to our Q&A. And anybody that's attending, if you'd like to put any questions in, feel free to use the question or the chat button, and we'll try and get to your questions.
I think Noel and I just wanted to kind of like bring it home, if you will, just kind of, really focusing on the solution itself for visitor management, that color provides more, right? Having the notion of having badges in your lobbies and having ambassadors there or security teams, that's your first step to identify that that's something that's there. You might have been using thermal for many years, but adding color takes it to the next level, like we've all talked about, right? Being able to enhance your security, being able to see who's on the badge, where they're going, taking on the branded badge with having a more professional look, not just for your company and or for your visitor, potentially if they're coming in and representing from there, can all be done with an on-demand solution. And that's ultimately what Epson and Threshold together are working to provide a one-stop solution for everyone. And then of course taking it to the next level with the expiring media, which we think that just takes it, is like the cherry on top of the sundae, if you will. We think that just adds an even better layer of overall customer experience. So, being able to have that and making it on demand just makes it really great. So we're really excited about this.
Yeah, and being in the market about badges, and because we're so about the badges here at Threshold, people will sometimes try to add color where they're using a direct thermal printer, they print off the badge, but then they might put it onto a badge tag or a badge buddy, something that has color on it, and then they have to get clips or lanyards to use along with that. So it's actually almost a 3-step process here to create the badge. When they're really just trying to go after adding color for all these various reasons that we talked about today. So there's really a nice benefit to have this one step solution here, this on-demand print, where you're getting all of that with one badge, and then off they go, no parts and pieces, which really saves time. And I would argue, having all those parts and pieces can add up, with the lanyards and everything else. So just something to think about when you're looking at, at different solutions.
Right.
Sure.
Right. We have a question here about compatibility. So I think, Noel, would you just want to address that? Do they have to use eVisitor software?
No, they don't. The beautiful thing about our badges is that we try to be as compatible with many printers on the market as well as many software, a lot of software that's on the market. There's plenty of software that can utilize the Epson printer. We know of Acre from FastPass. I know Envoy, has the ability with the Epson. I think Bricata, there's so many, I can mention so many different software. I don't know if Michael, you have any to add to that list, but
no.
I could go run down the list of compatibility with the Epson.
And I think the other thing that we want to put out there as well, if you're looking at a particular piece of software that we didn't speak about today or you're familiar with, reach out to Noel. Then we'll kind of put out some of the sort of things there, and we'll work together. If there's something that we need to do to take this to the next level. So we don't have every partner signed up. There's a lot of visitor management or other pieces of software that's out there. And we're willing to, to make that integration and that kind of work, a little bit more seamless and painless for you to find the solution that fits your needs.
And we are too from the badge end. I mean, when I don't cut you off. Sorry, Michael.
No,
we are too. We want to. There's a lot of software that's on the market that they don't sell badges and they don't sell hardware.
Just sell them. They're just selling the software.
Just sell their software. But I know Michael has relationships with them, and so do I. And where there's a will, there's a way. So it's definitely an option to. I think no matter what software.
Yeah, we want to find the right solution that fits your needs. So if someone's got something unique and something different, let's talk about it. Let's see how we can find the right solution and the right right opportunity.
I think we've covered most of the questions. There are a few questions about pricing, and I'm going to leave those for Noel to talk about on a one-on-one basis, because pricing is going to depend on a few different considerations. So we can reach out to Noel. If you flip to the next slide, I think, Meg, we have Noel's contact information. She can help you with any kind of pricing for packaging on badges and printers. She can get you sample rolls if you want to see the expiring badges in person. Whatever you might need. And then Noel has Michael as her support team on the technical end about, you know, the number of badges you can print per cartridge and the like, because all of that depends on the final output of what you're looking to create. So they're not as easy to just pinpoint a number on. So, but Noel can definitely answer any of those questions for anybody who's looking for that. I wanted to thank you both for being here today. I appreciate it. I hope all of you who stayed with us here, you know, found this insightful and useful information. We will be at ISC West. Threshold will be at ISC West. We're in booth 21121. A lot of twos and ones there. 21121. So you can come see the Epson printer and print color badges. We can print your picture on a color badge if you want to stop by, and you can walk away with that and show that to anybody you want to share it with. But we would love to have you stop by, or excuse me, reach out to Noel directly, and she can help you with anything pricing wise or any other questions you might have.
Yeah, we're pleased to. We're here to help. And Michael and Epson's been a great partner to us. And like Mary Ann said, we'll be at the ISC West show. So if you're walking around, and we will have the Epson out to show you the inkjet, and please stop by.
Yeah, and then just to reiterate, we've set Noel up for success and the rest of the Threshold company. So they are a full ColorWorks partner. So not only can they, you know, work on just making sure that the product works, but they can offer you, you know, all the considerations on the printers, the inks, and even service contracts as well. So they are a full ColorWorks partners. So we're excited about this. We're really happy about what we've done over the last few months here, and we're going to provide you that great white glove experience that you expect for both Threshold and Epson. So thank you for your consideration.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. And I just we have a hello from Germany, so on one of our comments. So we drew a global audience today. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. If you're at ISC West, please stop by and see us. If not, reach out to Noel, and we appreciate your time, and we really we value that you took the time to join us. So thank you, everybody, and have a great rest of your day.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon.